This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter, and welcome back to another sports catastrophe on this day. And today on this day, January 30th, in 1983, Super Bowl 17 happened. A lot of people are saying, "Why is this so significant? What are you doing? Why are you doing it?" Because I'm not doing it. I can't do anything else. And besides, the run up to Super Bowl 17 was huge because this was, of course, no ordinary year. So, Super Bowl 17 happened. The Dolphins and the Redskins were facing each other off. I know, I can't really say Redskins before Mr. Dowder gets back on vacation and beats the tar out of me. But, I'm just being honest. So, anyway, as everyone knows, Washington beats Miami to win the Super Bowl. However, this season would be one of the most unprecedented in history. It was significantly shortened by a players' strike, and teams only played 9 games. 9 games. Not 16, only 9. And the league decided to do a special tournament. The top 8 squads from the AFC and NFC would face each other off. Divisions were ignored in the seeding. The Redskins and Dolphins were the number 1 teams in both those years. So basically put, the Dolphins and Washington basically went through. In fact, this was actually a rematch from Super Bowl 7, 10 years ago, ironically enough. Also played in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area. Well, they played at the LA Coliseum in Super Bowl 7. They played this one, Super Bowl 17, at the Pasadena's Rose Bowl. The Redskins got revenge for their loss 10 years ago to the Dolphins. And this was the second Super Bowl to rematch teams. Super Bowl 13 rematched from Super Bowl 10, the Steelers and Cowboys. The Redskins basically had the second half won. Dolphins were up 17-10 after the half, and then Washington scored the last 17 points of the game. Dolphins were favored to win this game, by the way. So anyway, yeah. John Riggins was named Super Bowl MVP, getting the most rushing yards in the Super Bowl at that point, 166, and the most rushing attempts, 38. And Riggins actually caught a ball that actually made sure that he had more total yards than the Dolphins did. The NFL gave Super Bowl 17 to Pasadena in 1979, and this would be the first outdoor Super Bowl to have a Jumbotron present. They put up a Jumbotron in the Rose Bowl. The only other Super Bowl facilities that had Jumbotron/replay screens were the Louisiana Super Bowl and Super Bowls 12 and 15 and Silverdome 16. Because as I said, the season was weird in 82. A 57-day-long players' strike reduced the 82 regular season from 16 to 9. Because of the shortened season, the NFL did their playoff tournament. Division standings were ignored. So the modified schedule made sure the regular season extended into January for the first time. So what they did about the strike was that they took the week between the conference finals and the Super Bowl out. So basically, you have to play like every week. The season actually ruined 4 teams that made the playoffs in 81. San Fran, who won Super Bowl 16, were 3-6 and couldn't qualify. Buffalo, Giants, and Eagles all failed to qualify. What's weird is that Cleveland and Detroit were 4-5 and got into the little 18 playoffs, even though they were below 500. This was the first time that happened. But the 2010 Seattle Seahawks did their job at 7-9. The Dolphins were 7-2, ranking them second in the AFC. I thought they were number 1. They were called. The defense was the Killer Bee. 6 of their 11 starters had the last name B, and were anchored by defensive tackle Bob Baumhauer. Linebacker A.J. Dewey was at his best and got the Dolphins to the Super Bowl himself. The Blackwood brothers would be a huge part of the defensive back. David Woodley was the quarterback, but the Dolphins did not have a good passing attack. Basically, it was all about the running game, ranking third in the league. Audra Franklin and Tony Nathan did their jobs. But also, they had two good offensive linemen, Dwight Stevenson and Bob Kuchenberg. The Skins were 8-1. This was their second Super Bowl appearance, behind Super Bowl 7. They were 8-1, first playoff appearance in 6 years, and did not give up a lot of points. Redskins quarterback Joe Theismann was the top-rated passer in the NFC that year. Charlie Brown and Art Monk were good wide receivers. John Riggins led the running game, and basically the offensive line were called the Hogs. Strange as it sounds, Mark Mosley, the Washington kicker, was named the MVP of the NFL, even though it's like he's a kicker. But the defense looked good too. Dave Butts, a defensive tackle, defensive end Dexter Manley, and defensive back Vernon Dean. So, time to check out the 82 NFL playoffs. Of course, as we said, basically everyone went from 1 to 8. In the first round of the AFC tournament, the number 1 seed Raiders took on Cleveland and crushed them 27-10. Number 2 Miami took on number 7 New England and beat them 28-13. Number 3 Cincy took on the Jets, and everyone thought the Bengals were going to get back to the Super Bowl somehow. But no, they didn't even get past the first hurdle. They got crushed 44-17 by the Jets. Yikes. And San Diego upset the 4th seed Pittsburgh Steelers, who still had Terry Bradshaw, by a score of 31-28. So the Chargers were trying to get back into a chance, conference championships at least. The number 1 seed LA Raiders hosted the Jets and shockingly lost 17-14. That's amazing how the Jets could do such a thing like that. So the Jets went to the AFC title game against the number 2 seed Dolphins, who took care of San Diego 34-13. Revenge for the previous year's epic in Miami. Miami would then shut out the Jets 14-0 in the AFC title game. Although the Jets were pissed off because the Dolphins did not cover their field after a rainstorm. So basically they left in a soggy field and made sure that the Jets' speedsters were grounded in a sense. Over in the AFC and the NFC, number 1 seed Washington took care of Detroit 31-7. Number 2 Dallas took care of Tampa 30-17. Number 3 Green Bay took care of St. Louis 41-16. St. Louis as in the Cardinals franchise that moved to Arizona in 88. And number 5 Atlanta lost to number 4 Minnesota 30-24 at the Metrodome, which meant that no upsets. And then the no upsets thing kind of worked. Dallas hosted Green Bay and beat them 37-26. That's how good Green Bay was and all that, like post-Bart start. And in the RFK Stadium, Washington beat Minnesota 21-7. So no upsets. Number 1 Washington, if everything held up, would go to the Super Bowl, and they did. They beat Dallas 31-17. Unfortunately for Dallas, that marked the 3rd straight year that the Cowboys would be knocked out at the conference championship phase, which is rarity. So anyway, there was a lot of things. The Dolphins were favored because of their defense and all that. The Skins were the designated home team and decided to wear their white uniforms and burgundy pants. In their previous Super Bowl loss, the Redskins were mandated to wear their home team stuff, but basically they changed the rules. So Washington became the second team after the 78 Cowboys to wear white as the home team in the Super Bowl. That's amazing. The Dolphins had to wear their aqua uniforms. NBC took care of the broadcast for the Super Bowl. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen in the booth. NBC's new theme would be the brass-based piece. I wonder if I can play that for you. See if I can play that for you. Oh, can't do that. because it was going to be the Super Bowl 17 opening, and then the bass piece do 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 do. You get it. NBC actually made the post Super Bowl show was the A-Team, the premiere episodes, beginning the tradition of the game's host network airing programming after the game. That was the first time that ever happened, was the A-Team, 1983? Oh, post Super Bowl. I did not know that. Mr. T was in attendance for the game to hype the show for NBC, and man, the A-Team was fantastic. Canada got to have it. CTV simulcast NBC's coverage, but CTV had the broadcast. Super Bowl 17 was actually dedicated to Bear Bryant, who died just a week before this game, on January 26, 1983, only a month after his last football game as coach of Alabama. A moment of silence was held, and there were some Alabama alumni playing, especially the Dolphins, with 3 of them. So anyway, yeah. So yeah. So anyway, the Super Bowl happened and all that. And it wasn't good for the Dolphins. They had the lead at the half. Jimmy Savalo got a 76-yard touchdown pass from Woodley to make it 7-0. Teams traded field goals, and then Elvin Garrett got a touchdown catch from Joe Theismann, 10-all. Fulton Walker then returned that kick for a touchdown to make it 17-10. That would be the last time the Dolphins went the lead. John Riggins in the fourth quarter with his famous 43-yard bulldozing run make it 2017 Skins. And then Charlie Brown with the touchdown reception from Joe Theismann to ace it once and for all. So yeah, there were a lot of records that were set, blah, blah, blah. So, great times had by all if you were a Washington fan, and not if you were a Miami fan. Dan Marino would lead the Dolphins back to the Super Bowl a couple years later, but unfortunately they would suffer the same fate. Washington would get to the next year's Super Bowl and were heavy favorites against the Raiders, but sadly though they got crushed 38-9. So anyway, that's all I've got. I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.